Hello and welcome to your new Buick La Crosse. Powerful, comfortable, and quiet, your La Crosse is much more than a new mid-size sedan.
From the tri-shields adorning the grille, wheels, trunk, and steering wheel, to the graceful sweep spear accenting the vehicle's rear, your La Crosse is really exceptional. Hi, I'm Ted.
And I'm Lisa.
Together we're going to introduce you to many of the useful and impressive features available on your new La Crosse.
Plus, we'll talk about how you can customize many of these features to make your driving experience uniquely your own.
And while this CD covers many things, you'll also find it helpful to refer to the Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet, and of course, your La Crosse owner manual.
Before we go any further though, we must emphasize the importance of safety. This CD is for instructional purposes and should be played only when your vehicle is parked, with the engine off, the transmission in park, and the ignition in the run position, which is the position just before you start the engine.
And as a quick note, and to avoid running down the battery, be sure to turn off your headlamps if you're listening to this CD in your La Crosse. To turn off your lights, locate the exterior lamp control knob to the far left of the steering wheel on the instrument panel, and then turn the knob to the left to the off position, and release the knob, allowing it to return to the upright position.
You can advance through this CD by pressing either the previous or the next button on your audio system. These are the two buttons labeled number 1 and number 2 with the double arrow icons on them.
If you have the available 6-disc CD player, the previous and next buttons are situated directly above the buttons numbered 1 and 2.
If at any point during the CD you want to stop and review or practice setting functions, you can pause the CD by pressing the band button. Pressing this button switches you into the radio mode. When you're ready to play the CD again, just press the button with the icon of a CD disc on it, situated right next to the band button. The CD will pick up from right where you left off.
Okay, now sit back, relax, and get ready to explore all the great ways to make this La Crosse distinctively your very own.
Your new La Crosse features a remote keyless entry system, and each remote keyless entry transmitter has 4 push buttons on it. These buttons control the lock, unlock, trunk release, and vehicle locator panic alarm functions.
If you have the optional remote vehicle start system, your transmitter also has a 5th button at the top that allows you to start the engine from outside the vehicle.
And what a great feature it is for those times when you want to start your vehicle before you actually get in.
I like that the climate control system also comes on to heat or cool the vehicle interior as well. In fact, the climate control system responds to where you last left the settings of the system, either warm or cool, high fan speed or low, and the rear window defogger also activates if the temperature is below 45 degrees.
If you have the available remote start system, first aim the transmitter at the car, then press and release the lock button on the transmitter, and finally immediately press and hold the remote start button until you see your turn signal lights flash.
If you can't see the turn signal lights, then continue to press and hold the remote start button for 2 or 3 seconds. Once the engine starts, the vehicle's doors lock and the parking lamps turn on and remain on while the vehicle's running.
The engine will only run for 10 minutes before turning itself off, but you can extend the runtime an additional 10 minutes by doing another remote start sequence before the first 10 minutes runs out or after the engine has shut off. But after 2 consecutive remote starts, you can't remote start your La Crosse again until you've started it with the ignition key.
Once you get in the car after a remote start, you'll notice that it appears to be in sleep mode as none of the instrument cluster lights are on and you can't shift the transmission out of park. In fact, only the climate control system will be on. In order to drive the vehicle and activate all of its systems and functions, you have to insert the key into the ignition and turn it to the run position.
If you want to turn off the engine after performing a remote start, you can do one of several things. You can press and hold the remote start button on the transmitter until the parking lamps turn off. You can press and release the hazard warning flashers button inside the vehicle, then press the button again to turn off the flashers. Or you can simply wait for the engine to automatically stop when the 10 minutes are up.
Let's move on to the other buttons on your remote keyless entry transmitter. There are 2 buttons with an icon of a padlock on them. These are for the lock and unlock functions.
Press the unlock button on the right to unlock the driver's door. If you press it again within 5 seconds, all the remaining doors unlock. And of course, press the lock button to lock all the doors.
The next button is the remote trunk release. Press and hold this button for a second or 2 to unlatch the trunk.
The final button is the vehicle locator panic alarm button. Press and release this button to locate your vehicle, or press and hold the button for 3 seconds to sound the panic alarm. Press the button again to cancel the panic alarm.
The vehicle locator feature is a big help for those times when I'm trying to remember where I parked.
That's true, and that's why I customize the way my car responds to my transmitter so that I can find it a little more easily.
If you have the optional Driver Information Center, or DIC, you can customize your La Crosse to respond to the transmitter in a number of ways. We'll take a look at how to do this a little later on the CD.
Under normal use, the battery in your remote keyless entry transmitter should last about 2 years. When a change is needed, the DIC will display a warning message that says, Key fob battery low.
Please remember, when using your remote keyless entry transmitter, that it works best within a 30-foot range of your vehicle. And be sure there's nothing between you and your vehicle to block the transmitter signal, like a pole or another vehicle.
Depending on the obstacles between you and the vehicle, you may have to be closer than 30 feet for the transmitter to work. And if you have the remote vehicle start option on your transmitter, this feature works up to 200 feet away from your vehicle.
Let's now quickly review how to start your La Crosse using the standard ignition key. Your ignition has 5 positions on it. When you first slide your key into the ignition, it's in the lock position. This is an anti-theft deterrent where the ignition and transaxle are locked. Push in on the key and turn it counterclockwise to be in the accessory position. This position lets the radio and windshield wipers work when the engine is off.
The third position is off. From the lock position, turn the key 1 position clockwise. Here, the ignition is off and the power is off, but the ignition and transaxle are no longer locked. Use this position if your La Crosse ever needs to be towed.
The fourth position is run. This is the position the key returns to after you start the engine, and it's the position that operates your electrical accessories and displays some instrument panel warning lights. The fifth position is the start position, where you'll start the engine.
For more information, please refer to your Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and to Section 2 of your La Crosse Owner Manual.
Now it's time to talk about the style and comfort of your La Crosse seats. The tilt telescopic steering wheel, the available heated seats, the 6-way power seats.
Okay, I think we get the picture. The La Crosse has many wonderful features and options that help to transport you in style.
It sure does. So let's have a look at a few of them.
The La Crosse has 3 levels of seating options available. The first is a 2-way manual adjusting seat. The second is a 6-way power seat. And the third is a 6-way power seat with power lumbar control.
If your vehicle has the manual seat adjustment, lift the bar located under the front of the seat to unlock it. Slide the seat to where you want it and release the bar. Try to move the seat back and forth to be sure the seat's locked in place.
Each of the seat systems includes a manual seat back recliner lever located on the outboard side of the seat near where the seat cushion and seat back meet. Lift this lever to recline the seat back to your desired position and release the lever to lock the seat back.
If your La Crosse has a 6-way power driver's seat, you can use the control button located on the outboard side of the driver's seat to move the seat forward or rearward, raise or lower the seat cushion, the front portion of the seat, or the rear portion of the seat.
This long horizontal switch controls the power seat settings.
Move the seat backwards or forwards by sliding the control in the desired direction. Slide the control up or down to raise or lower the seat cushion. By raising or lowering the front part of the control, you raise or lower the front portion of the seat. Do the same for the rear portion of the seat with the back part of the control.
If you ordered the lumbar control with your 6-way power driver's seat, you'll find the lumbar control switch located on the outboard side of the driver's seat cushion on the rearward side of the 6-way control switch.
And the last word on seats is saved for my favorite optional feature, heated seats.
If you have this option, you'll find the controls located on either side of your climate control system. The driver's seat control is on the left and the passenger seat control is on the right.
The La Crosse heated seats feature 2 settings, high and low. Press the button once to activate a high heat setting. Both indicator lights above the button come on. Press the button again to select a lower temperature setting and only one indicator light comes on. Press the button a third time to turn the heat off.
Another way to customize your La Crosse is to use the tilt telescoping steering wheel. The adjustment handles are found on the left side of the steering column. Be sure to make your adjustments to the steering wheel before you drive. You can tilt the wheel up and down, as well as forward and backward or in and out.
The outside lever is used for the tilt adjustment. The inner lever is for the telescopic adjustment. And here's an important tip. Move the wheel up to a centered position or higher to make it easier to telescope the wheel in and out. And once you've made your adjustments, be sure to push each lever up all the way to lock the wheel in place.
For more information on all these comfort features, please refer to your Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and Section 1 and 3 of your La Crosse Owner Manual.
They say that silence is golden, but when you're driving, you want your sound to be golden too.
And that's why your La Crosse delivers plenty of rich audio features through a number of optional audio systems that you can customize to sound just the way you like.
Your La Crosse offers 3 levels of audio systems. The first is the base level system with radio and single CD player.
The second level is a premium 9-speaker, 240-watt Concert Sound 3 system featuring radio, XM satellite radio if installed, and a single CD player. This system also comes with an available MP3 player.
The third level is the same premium audio system as we just mentioned, but features a 6-disc CD player.
The features and controls are different enough on each system that we'll look at them separately. So if you have the base level system, please continue listening to this track. If you have the premium Concert Sound 3 system with single CD player and available MP3 player, please skip ahead to the next track.
And if your La Crosse has the premium audio system equipped with the 6-disc CD player, you can skip ahead 2 tracks.
The first thing I noticed in the base system was the straightforward layout of the display, buttons, and knobs.
Without a doubt, this La Crosse audio system is very user-friendly. The top section of the system contains a CD slot for a single CD and the eject button. Just beneath the slot is a crisp display readout that shows the time, radio station band, frequency, the track number, and the elapsed time of a particular track if you're listening to a CD. It also provides a graph showing your tone and speaker settings.
On the left side of the display window are the band and CD buttons. On the right side are the hour and minute buttons to set the clock. Below the display window is a row of 8 control buttons, and the 2 large control knobs are situated at the very bottom of the unit.
The large power volume knob is on the lower left corner of the system. On the lower right side is the tune knob. Turn this knob to select radio stations. This knob is also used to control the bass and treble settings and the balance fade speaker function. Push and release the knob until BAS or TRE appears on the display. Turn this knob to increase or decrease the settings. Do the same to operate the BAL or FAD features.
You can also quickly adjust the bass treble and balance fade features to their middle position by simply pushing and holding the tune knob when no tone or speaker control is displayed. The letters CEN for center will appear on the display.
Above the power volume knob is the Seek up and down button, used for both the radio and CD player.
Moving right, you'll find buttons numbered 1 through 6. These push buttons are used to set and select your radio station presets. You'll notice that the first 2 buttons have arrows on them.
Button number 1 is also your reverse button. Press this button to go to the start of the current track if more than 8 seconds have played. If the button is held and pressed more than once, the player continues moving backward through the CD.
Button number 2 is also the fast forward button. Press this button to go to the next track. If the button is held and pressed more than once, the player will continue moving forward through the CD.
Button number 4 is the random button. Press this button to hear CD tracks played in random order, rather than in sequential order. Press it again to turn it off.
Moving to the right of the number 6 button, you'll find the display button labeled DISP. This button is used to switch the display between the radio station frequency and the time of day. When the ignition is turned off, you can press this button to display the time. To change the default setting on the display, press the display knob until you see the display you want. Then hold the knob for 2 seconds. You'll hear a beep to confirm your selection.
In CD mode, pressing the display button switches the display from the CD track number to the elapsed time of the track. To change the display default setting for CD mode, follow the same instructions just mentioned for radio mode.
Now let's move to the buttons on either side of the display window. On the left side are the band and CD buttons.
Press the band button to switch between AM, FM1, and FM2. Next to the band button is the CD button. Press this to play a CD if you've been listening to the radio.
On the right side of the display window are the 2 buttons used for setting your clock. Press and hold the H button until the correct hour appears on the display. The letters AM appear for morning hours. Then press and hold the M button until the correct minute appears.
And finally, along the very top, next to the single CD slot is the CD eject button. Press this button to eject a CD.
Now let's look at how to tune and set your radio station presets. Please keep in mind that if you switch from the CD mode you're in right now to the radio mode, you'll pause the CD and you won't be able to hear it any longer. So we recommend that you listen through these instructions first, and then at the end of this section you can try setting your preset stations.
If you happen to switch out of CD source and pause the CD, just press the CD button to return to where you left off on the CD.
To tune a station, touch the band button to choose either AM, FM1, or FM2. You can tune to a station manually using the Tune knob or have the audio system automatically find the next available frequency by pressing the Seek Up or Seek Down button.
To add a station as one of your presets, simply press and hold one of the buttons numbered 1 through 6 until you hear a beep. Repeat this step for each of the remaining push buttons. You can store up to 18 stations on your audio system, 6 in AM, 6 in FM1, and 6 FM2 stations.
Now let's turn our attention towards your CD player. To play a CD, simply insert it, label side up, by gently placing the CD partway into the CD slot. The player itself will take the CD from you and pull it in.
And a CD will stay in your player until you eject it.
Oh, and your audio system is designed to play premium quality store-bought CDs. So while your CD player can play CDs that have been created and burned yourself, keep in mind that these CDs may not perform as well as you'd like as a result of the varying quality of CD burners and recordable discs.
You may find an increase in skipping, difficulty in finding tracks, and/or difficulty in loading and ejecting. If these problems occur, try a known good CD, and do not add paper labels to home-burned CDs as they could get caught in the CD player. If an error appears on the display window, see the CD messages portion of Section 3 of your owner manual, and please note that the La Crosse base level audio system does not play MP3s.
And while we're discussing the audio system, here's a note about the optional steering wheel controls. If you have them, these buttons act as a remote control for many audio system functions.
The Seek button is on the left side of the steering wheel. Press either the left or right-facing arrow to go to the next or previous radio station, or track if a CD is playing. Next to the Seek button is the Band and the 1 to 6 preset button. Press the upper band portion of this button to switch between AM, FM1, FM2, and if available, XM1 and XM2. Press the lower 1 to 6 preset button to select the next radio station that's programmed in your presets.
You'll also see along the lower left side of the steering wheel a mute button. Press this button to silence the audio system. At the far right side of the steering wheel is the volume control button.
The other steering wheel controls are for the cruise control feature. We'll look at those buttons later on in the CD.
So that covers many of the base level audio functions available on your La Crosse. But there's a whole lot more to find out, so please remember to consult your Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and Section 3 of your owner manual.
This track is for La Crosse owners with the premium 240-watt Concert Sound 3 high-performance audio system with a single CD player or with the MP3 player.
The first thing I noticed about this system is the straightforward layout of display, buttons, and knobs on the system.
The La Crosse premium audio system is also very user-friendly. The top section of the system contains a CD slot for a single CD and the eject button. Just beneath the slot is a crisp display readout. The display can show the time, radio station band and frequency, and the track number and the elapsed time of a particular track when listening to a CD. It also provides a graph showing your tone and speaker settings. And if installed, XM Satellite Radio information is also displayed. We'll discuss XM Satellite Radio later on in this CD.
On the right side of the display window are the hour and minute buttons to set the clock. Below the display window is a row of 8 control buttons and the 2 large control knobs. Between the 2 knobs is another row of 6 control buttons.
The large power volume knob is on the lower left corner of the system. On the lower right side is the Tune knob. Turn this knob to select radio stations. It's also used to control the bass and treble settings and the balance fade speaker function. Push and release the knob until BAS or TRE appears on the display. Turn this knob to increase or decrease the setting. Do the same to operate the BAL or FAD features.
You can also quickly adjust the bass treble and balance fade features to their middle position by simply pushing and holding the Tune knob when no tone or speaker control is displayed. The message All Centered will appear on the display.
Above the power volume knob is the Seek Up and Down feature, used for both the radio and CD player.
Moving right of the Seek button, you'll find buttons numbered 1 through 6. These push buttons are used to set and select your radio station presets. You'll notice that the first 2 buttons have arrows on them. Button number 1 is also your reverse button.
Press this button to go to the start of the current track if more than 8 seconds have played. If the button is held and pressed more than once, the player continues moving backward through the CD.
Button number 2 is also the fast forward button. If the button is held and pressed more than once, the player will continue moving forward through the CD.
Button number 4 is the random button. Press this button to hear CD tracks played in random order rather than in sequential order. Press it again to turn it off. If you have the available MP3 player, we'll look more closely at its features, including buttons 3, 5, and 6 in a few moments.
Moving to the right of the number 6 button, you'll find the display button labeled DISP. When the ignition is turned off, you can press this button to display the time.
With the available XM satellite radio, press the display button while in XM mode to retrieve 4 different categories of information related to the current song or channel. You can view artist, song title, category, or PTY, and channel number or channel name.
In CD mode, pressing the display button switches the display from the CD track number to the elapsed time of the track.
To change the default setting on the display, press the display knob until you see the display you want, then hold the knob for 2 seconds. A beep confirms your selection.
Now let's move to the bottom row of buttons between the power and tune knobs.
First is the band button. Press this button to switch between AM, FM1, FM2, and if available, XM1 and XM2. Next to the band button is the CD button. Press this to play a CD when listening to the radio.
Next to the CD button is the EQ button. Press this button to select customized equalization settings designed for the different types of audio you listen to, like country, jazz, talk, pop, rock, and classical.
Next are the Info and Cat buttons. We'll talk more about these later as they only come into play if you have the optional XM radio feature.
The final button in the bottom row is the SCV or Speed Compensated Volume button.
This handy feature automatically adjusts the volume in your vehicle to make up for outside road noise. As with many La Crosse functions, you can customize the settings to suit your own tastes.
To set your preference, press the SCV button repeatedly to select between low, medium, or high. Your choice appears in the display window. To turn this feature off, press the SCV button until your system's display shows off.
Now let's move to the right side of the display window, where you'll notice 2 buttons used for setting your clock. Press and hold the H button until the correct hour appears on the display. The letters AM appear for morning hours. Then press and hold the M until the correct minute appears on the display.
And finally, along the very top, next to the single CD slot, is the CD eject button. Press this button to eject a CD.
Now, let's look at how to tune and set your radio station presets. Please keep in mind that if you switch from the CD mode that you're in right now to the radio mode, you'll pause the CD and you won't be able to hear it any longer. So, we recommend that you listen through these instructions first, and then at the end of this section, you can try setting your preset stations. If you happen to switch out of CD source and pause the CD, just press the CD button to return to where you left off on the CD.
To tune a station, touch the band button to choose either AM, FM1, FM2, or if available, XM1 and XM2. You can tune to a station manually using the Tune knob or have the audio system automatically find the next available frequency by pressing the Seek Up or Seek Down button.
When you find a station you like, press the EQ button to select the equalization preferred. Now, to add a station as one of your presets, simply press and hold one of the buttons numbered 1 through 6 until you hear a beep. Repeat this step for each of the remaining push buttons.
You can store up to 30 stations on your system. 6 in AM, 6 in FM1, 6 in FM2, 6 in XM1, and 6 in XM2 if you have the XM option.
Now, let's turn our attention toward how to operate your CD player. To play a CD, simply insert it, label side up, by gently placing the CD partway into the CD slot. The player itself will take the CD from you and pull it in.
And remember that a CD will stay in your player until you eject it.
Oh, and your audio system is designed to play premium quality store-bought CDs. So while your player can play CDs that have been created and burned yourself, keep in mind that these CDs may not perform as well as you'd like as a result of the varying quality of CD burners and recordable discs.
You may find an increase in skipping, difficulty in finding tracks, and/or difficulty in loading and ejecting. If these problems occur, try a known good CD. And do not add paper labels to home-burn CDs, as they could get caught in the CD player.
If an error message appears on the display window, see the CD Messages portion of Section 3 of your owner manual.
You can also press the EQ button to select an equalization setting while playing a CD.
And while we're discussing the audio system, here's a reminder about the optional steering wheel controls. These buttons act like a handy remote control for many audio system functions.
There's a Seek button on the left side of the steering wheel. Press either the left or right-facing arrow to go to the next or previous radio station or track if a CD is playing.
Next to the Seek button is the Band and 1 to 6 preset button. Press the upper band portion of this button to switch between AM, FM1, FM2, and if available, XM1 and XM2. Press the lower 1 to 6 preset button to select the next radio station that's programmed on the radio preset buttons.
You'll also see along the lower left side of the steering wheel a mute button. Press this button to silence the audio system. At the far right side of the steering wheel is the volume control button.
The other steering wheel controls are for the cruise control feature. We'll look at those buttons later on this CD.
Now let's look at some of the extra features offered with your premium audio system if you have the available MP3 player. If you don't have the MP3 player, you can skip the rest of this track.
The La Crosse MP3 player accepts MP3 files that were recorded on and up to 700 megabyte CDR format CD. The player reads and plays a maximum of 50 folders, 50 playlists, 10 sessions, and 255 files. Long file, folder, or playlist names may cause the player to be unable to play up to the maximum number of files, folders, or playlists. You can also play an MP3 CD that was recorded using no file folders.
Tracks on your MP3 CDR are played from the first track in the first playlist and will continue sequentially through all tracks in each playlist. Or if no playlist exists, then play begins from the first track under the root directory.
To play an MP3 formatted CD, insert the CD into the player the same way you would a regular CD. The word Reading will appear on the display, and after a brief pause, the CD should begin to play.
You'll notice on the number 3 button of your audio system that it has a curved arrow on it. This is the repeat function. Press this button to hear a track over again. The current track will continue to repeat until you press the button again to turn off repeat play.
The 4th button is the Random function. Press and release this button to random play the tracks in the current folder or playlist. The system moves to the next folder or playlist once all of the tracks have been played in that folder or playlist. To random all the tracks on the CD, press and hold this button for 2 seconds. You'll hear a beep, and CD RDM appears in the display. This feature does not work with playlists.
Buttons number 5 and 6 on the MP3 player double as the previous folder and the next folder functions. Press the previous folder button to go to the first track in the previous folder. Press the next folder button to go to the first track in the next folder.
When in MP3 mode, pressing the display button switches between time of day mode and track mode, or folder playlist mode.
Your stereo's display can show only 8 characters at a time, but there can be up to 4 pages of text. If there are more than 8 characters in the song, folder, or playlist name, pressing the display button within 2 seconds takes you to the next page of text.
The word Info appears in the display whenever a current track has ID3 tag information. Press the Info button to display the artist name and album contained in the tag.
That covers many of the audio functions available on your La Crosse premium audio system with single CD player or MP3 player. There's a whole lot more to find out, so please remember to consult with your Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and Section 3 of your owner manual.
This track is for the La Crosse owners with the premium 240-watt Concert Sound 3 high-performance audio system with the optional 6-disc CD player.
The first thing I noticed as well about this system is the straightforward layout of display, buttons, and knobs.
The La Crosse premium audio system with 6-disc player is also very user-friendly. So let's review the functional areas on the system.
Near the bottom of the unit, you'll find the crisp display readout. The display can show the time, radio station band and frequency, and a graph showing your tone and speaker settings. The window also displays which numbered CD is playing if you have multiple CDs loaded, the track number, and the elapsed time of a particular track.
The window also provides, if installed, XM satellite radio information. We'll discuss XM satellite radio later in this CD.
Near the top of the unit is a CD slot where you can insert up to 6 CDs to load your 6-disc player.
There are also 3 knobs and 3 rows of important audio function push buttons that we'll take you through right now.
The large power volume knob is the upper one on the left side of the system. The second knob is labeled DISP for display. Push this knob to switch the display between the equalizer setting number or the radio station preset number. Turn the knob to select radio stations. When the ignition is off, you can press this button to display the time.
With the available XM satellite radio, press the display knob while in XM mode to retrieve 4 different categories of information related to the current song or channel. You can view artist, song title, category or PTY, and channel number or channel name.
In the CD mode, pressing the display knob switches the display from the CD track number to the elapsed time of the track.
To change the default setting on the display, press the display knob until you see the display you want, then hold the knob for 2 seconds. You'll hear a beep to confirm your selection.
Between these two knobs is the Seek Scan button. Press and release the right or left side of this button to go to the next or previous station or track if you are in CD mode. When you press and hold either arrow for more than 2 seconds, the word Scan appears in the display, and the radio makes a beep sound. You are now in scan mode. The radio goes to the next station, plays for a few seconds, then goes to the next station. When you hold the arrow for 4 seconds, P-Scan appears in the display, and the radio beeps twice. The radio now scans through the preset radio stations. Push either arrow again, or one of the push buttons numbered 1 through 6, to stop scanning.
Now let's move to the 2 buttons below the knobs and learn how to set the time. You'll notice 2 buttons used for setting your clock. Press and hold the H button until the correct hour appears in the display. The letters AM appear for morning hours, then press and hold the M until the correct minute appears on the display.
Now let's move to the 3rd knob situated within the display window. This is the Tune knob. Turn this knob to control the bass and treble settings and the balance fade speaker function. Push and release the knob until BASS or TREB appears on the display. Turn this knob to increase or decrease the setting. Do the same to find the BAL or FAD features.
Moving to the bottom row of buttons beneath the display window, the first button is for the band function. Press this button to switch between AM, FM1, FM2, and if available, XM1 and XM2. Next to the band button is the CD button. Press this to play a CD when listening to the radio.
Next to the CD button is the EQ button. Press this button to select customized equalization settings designed for the different types of audio you listen to, like country, jazz, talk, pop, rock, and classical.
Next is the P-Scan button. Press and hold this button to scan through your presets.
Next up are the Info and CAT buttons, but these only come into play if you have the available XM radio option that we'll discuss later.
The final button in the bottom row is the SCV, or Speed Compensated Volume button. This handy feature automatically adjusts the volume in your vehicle to make up for outside road noise.
To set your preference, press the SCV button repeatedly to select low, medium, or high. Your choice will appear in the display window.
To turn this feature off, simply press the SCV button until your system's display shows off.
Now let's move up to the row of buttons directly above the display window. You'll see 6 buttons numbered 1 through 6. These push buttons are used to set and select your radio station presets. They are also used for selecting which of the 6 CDs you wish to listen to if multiple CDs are loaded into your 6-disc player.
For every CD loaded, a number will appear on the display. To play a specific CD, first press the CD button, then press the numbered push button that corresponds to the CD you want. A small bar will appear under the CD number that's playing, and the track number will appear on the display.
Above these numbered buttons, you'll find the CD slot for loading up to 6 CDs. We'll look at how to load your CD player in a few moments.
Let's move up to the top row of buttons. The first button is the reverse function. Press this button to go to the start of the current track if more than 8 seconds have been played. If the button is held and pressed more than once, the player continues to move backward through the CD.
The second button is the fast forward function. Press this button to go to the next track. If the button is held and pressed more than once, the player will continue moving forward through the CD.
The third button is the repeat function. Press and release this button to hear the current track over again. The current track will continue to repeat. Press the button again to turn off repeat play. Press and hold the button for 2 seconds to repeat the entire current CD you're listening to.
The next button is the song list function. This feature is capable of saving 20 track selections from the CDs loaded in your player. To save a track to the song list, select the desired CD by pressing the numbered push button and then use the Seek right arrow to locate the track to be saved. The track will begin to play.
Now, press and hold the List button to save the track into memory. When List is pressed, 1 beep will be heard immediately. After 2 seconds of continuously pressing the List button, 2 beeps will sound to confirm the track has been saved. To add more tracks from any of the loaded CDs, repeat these instructions.
The next button is the random function. With this feature, you can listen to tracks played in random order rather than the sequential order on one CD or on all of the CDs loaded.
To play the tracks on the current CD you're listening to in random order, press and release the random button. Random 1 appears on the display. Press it again to turn off this function. To play the tracks on all of the CDs that are loaded in the random order, press and hold this button for more than 2 seconds. You'll hear a beep, and Random All will appear on the display. Press this button again to turn off random play.
The next button is the load button, so let's turn our attention toward how to operate your CD player. You can load up to 6 separate discs into the 6-disc player. To load a single CD, press and release the load button. Wait until you see the indicator light located to the right of the CD slot turn green. Now load your single CD. Insert the CD partway into the slot, label side up. The player will pull the CD in the rest of the way.
To load multiple CDs, press and hold the load button for 2 seconds. You'll hear a beep, and the indicator light located to the right of the CD slot will begin to flash. You'll see the words multi-load and a number symbol appear on the display.
Once the light stops flashing and turns green, the words Insert CD and a number symbol appear on the display. Now load a CD. Insert the CD partway into the slot, label side up. The player will pull the CD in the rest of the way. Once that CD is loaded, the indicator light begins flashing again. Once the light stops flashing and turns green, you can load another CD. The CD player takes up to 6 CDs, but don't try to load more than 6.
To load more than 1 CD but less than 6, repeat these steps. When finished loading CDs, press the load button to cancel the loading function. The radio begins to play the last CD loaded. If more than 1 CD has been loaded, a number for each CD appears on the display.
For every CD loaded, a number appears on the display. To play a specific CD, first press the CD button, then press the numbered push button that corresponds to the CD. A small bar appears under the CD number that is playing, and the track number appears on the display.
The eject button is located right next to the load button. To eject the single CD that's currently playing, press and release the eject button. To eject multiple CDs, press and hold the eject button for 5 seconds. Wait for the beep and the indicator light to flash and for the words Eject All to appear on the display.
Once the light stops flashing and turns green, Remove CD number appears on the display. The CD then ejects and can be removed. Once the CD is removed, the indicator light begins flashing again and another CD will eject. To stop ejecting the CDs, press the Load or the Eject button.
Your 6-disc player has been designed to play premium quality store-bought CDs. So while your CD player can play CDs that have been created and burned yourself, keep in mind that these CDs may not perform as well as you'd like as a result of the varying quality of CD burners and recordable discs.
You may find an increase in skipping, difficulty in finding tracks, and/or difficulty in loading and ejecting. If these problems occur, try a known good CD. And do not add paper labels to home burn CDs, as they could get caught in the CD player. If an error appears on the display window, see the CD messages portion of Section 3 of your owner manual. And please note that the La Crosse 6-disc CD player does not play MP3 formatted CDs.
So now that we know where all the buttons are and what they do, let's look at how to tune and set your radio station presets. Please keep in mind that if you switch from the CD mode you're in right now to the radio mode, you'll pause the CD, and you won't be able to hear it any longer. So we recommend that you listen through to these instructions first, and then at the end of this section, you can try setting your preset stations. If you happen to switch out of CD source and pause the CD, just press the CD button to return to where you left off on the CD.
To tune a station, power on your radio. Then touch the band button to choose either AM, FM1, FM2, or if available, XM1 and XM2. You can tune to a station manually using the Tune knob, or have the audio system automatically find the next available frequency by pressing the Seek Up or Seek Down button.
When you find a station you like, press the EQ button to select the equalization preferred. Now, to add a station as one of your presets, simply press and hold one of the buttons numbered 1 through 6 until you hear a beep. Repeat this step for each of the remaining push buttons. You can store up to 30 stations on your system. 6 AM, 6 FM1, 6 FM2, 6 XM1, and 6 XM2 stations if available.
And just before we finish up with this track, here's a reminder about the optional steering wheel audio controls. If you have these buttons, you'll notice two sets, one on the left side of the wheel and one set on the right side. These buttons act like a handy remote control for many audio system functions.
There's a seek button on the left side of the steering wheel. Press either the left or right-facing arrow to go to the next or previous radio station or track of a CD if it's playing. Next to the seek button is the band and 1 to 6 preset button. Press the upper band portion of this button to switch between AM, FM1, FM2, and if available, XM1 and XM2. Press the lower 1 to 6 preset button to select the next radio station that's programmed on the radio preset buttons. You can also use this button in CD mode to select one of the multiple CDs you have loaded into your 6-disc player.
You'll also see along the lower left side of the steering wheel a mute button. Press this button to silence the audio system. At the far right side of the steering wheel is the volume control button.
The other steering wheel controls are for the cruise control feature. We'll look at those buttons later on in this CD when we talk about cruise control features.
That covers many of the audio functions available on your La Crosse. There's a whole lot more to find out, so please remember to consult your Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and Section 3 of your owner manual.
Your radio may also be equipped with optional XM radio. XM satellite radio means both spectacular sound quality and the ability to receive text messages from a selection of more than 100 coast-to-coast stations.
XM programming includes music, news, sports, talk, local traffic and weather, where these two are available, as well as children's programming.
And because the signal comes from a satellite and is augmented by a ground-based repeater network instead of from old-fashioned radio towers, you can listen to the same satellite radio channel anywhere in the continental United States, not just in your local area.
XM provides digital quality audio and text information that includes song title and artist name that appear on the radio display.
XM radio is a pay-for-use service, just like your cell phone or cable television. If your Buick is equipped with the XM satellite radio option, you can access it just like any other band on your radio.
To order or activate XM service, tune to the XM preview station and follow the directions there, and then sit back and enjoy all of the incredible advantages that XM digital satellite radio has to offer.
XM is the future of radio, and there's a whole lot more detail about it listed in Section 3 of your owner manual.
The La Crosse driver interface system conveys just about everything that your new La Crosse can communicate to the driver.
And this is done through the instrument cluster. That's the group of gauges just behind your steering column that provides an at-a-glance reference to everything from speed and fuel to reminder and warning lights.
The interface even includes the audio system's radio display that gives you information about radio stations and the available XM satellite radio's messages.
And then there's the Driver Information Center, or DIC. Every La Crosse has a DIC, but if you have the optional up-level DIC, think of it as a sophisticated communications hub for your vehicle, as it not only allows you to get data and information from your vehicle, but it also operates as an interface that allows you to personalize your vehicle's functions.
The DIC is located in the instrument cluster below the speedometer. It displays different menu items such as trip information, fuel economy, personalization features, as well as warning and status messages.
And each of these different menu items is controlled by the buttons located on the center of the instrument panel, found between the two middle air outlets and the audio system. Oh, and in case you're wondering, the last button in this row is your hazard warning flasher.
On the base level La Crosse, there are two DIC mode buttons. The first is the trip odometer button, which displays the odometer and trip distance in the DIC window. And the second is the English metric button, which you can press to choose between having either English or metric units displayed in your vehicle.
On all up-level La Crosse vehicles, there are 6 DIC buttons. Let's take a quick look at them. First is the trip odometer button, used to display the odometer, trip odometers A and B, time elapsed, and average speed features of the DIC.
Next is the fuel button, used to display the fuel range, average fuel economy, and instantaneous fuel economy. Next is the gauges button, used to display the battery voltage and oil life.
Next is the set reset button, used to set or reset certain functions and to turn off or acknowledge messages on the DIC. The next button is the option button, used to display the units, language, personalization, compass zone, and compass calibration.
And the final DIC control button is traction control, used to turn the available traction control system on or off.
Now let's walk through each of these controls in greater detail and learn how to customize each function to suit your driving needs.
With each press of the trip odometer button, you scroll through one of 4 menu items. Press the button now until odometer is in the display. This mode shows the number of miles the vehicle has been driven.
Press the trip odometer button again until the letter A or B appears. This mode shows the distance traveled since the last reset for each trip odometer, and, if you wish, both trip odometers can be used at the same time. You reset each trip odometer to 0 by pressing and holding the Set Reset button on all up-level models, or, on the base-level La Crosse, simply press and hold the trip odometer button while the desired trip odometer is displayed.
Now press the trip odometer button again until you see the time elapsed mode. This acts like a stopwatch. Once time elapsed 00 is displayed, press the Set Reset button to begin the timer and then press it again to stop. To return the counter to 0, press and hold the Set Reset button.
If you press the trip odometer button again, average speed is displayed. This mode shows the average speed of your vehicle in miles per hour.
Now let's move to the next DIC control button, the fuel mode. Press this button to scroll through 3 menu items: fuel range, fuel economy, and instantaneous fuel economy.
The fuel range mode shows you the remaining distance you can drive without refueling. Press this control button again to display the fuel economy mode. This shows you how many miles per gallon your vehicle is getting based on current and past driving conditions. And pressing this button once again brings you to the instantaneous fuel economy mode. This shows you your estimated fuel usage at the current speed you're driving.
The third DIC control button is Gauges. Press this button to scroll through 2 menu items, battery or oil life. The battery mode shows you the current battery voltage. The oil life mode shows you an estimate of the oil's remaining useful life.
The GM Oil Life System tells you exactly when to change your oil and filter based on your actual engine revolutions and engine temperature, rather than using mileage alone. That saves you money and helps the environment by avoiding early oil changes. When the Change Oil light illuminates on your instrument panel, the system is telling you to service your vehicle within your next 2 fuel stops.
And after your oil and filter change, the oil life system needs to be reset. If you service your car at a GM dealership, they should do it for you, but it's a good idea to check with your service department to make sure. And if you'd like to reset it yourself, simply refer to Section 3 of your owner manual under Engine Oil Monitor System.
And here's a helpful tidbit. Your La Crosse will actually let you know if your fuel cap hasn't been replaced properly in 2 ways. First, the Driver Information Center displays a message that says, "Check gas cap," and the illuminated Service Engine Soon warning light appears on your instrument cluster. If you see this warning light, check your fuel cap first. And if you should find that the cap is in place and the warning light stays on, then have your engine checked at the nearest GM service center as soon as possible.
Now back to the DIC control buttons. The Set Reset button is used to set or reset certain functions and to turn off or acknowledge messages in the DIC. This button is used in conjunction with the button to the right of it, the Option button.
Press the Option button now, and we'll scroll through its 5 menu items and give you a brief overview of each.
As you scroll through each feature, you may want to stop and personalize that feature. To do this, you'll have to press the Set Reset button to select between each of the submenu items you wish to personalize.
So let's start by pressing the Option button until Units is displayed. This feature offers you 2 choices so that you can display your instrument panel readouts in either English units, miles per hour, and miles per gallon, or metric units, kilometers per hour, and 2 fuel economy options, either kilometers per liter or liters per 100 kilometers. Use the Set Reset button to choose between them.
Now press the Option button again until Language appears on the display. Your La Crosse can display information in 3 different languages, including English, French, or Spanish. The name of the language is displayed in its native spelling in the menu.
Press the Option button again, and Compass Zone appears on the display. If your vehicle has the available compass display on the rear view mirror, then under certain circumstances, such as during a long-distance cross-country trip, it will be necessary to compensate for compass variance and reset your geographic zone through the DIC. Please see Section 3 of your owner manual for complete details.
Press the Option button again and Compass Calibration appears on the display. The compass is manually calibrated and must only be calibrated in a safe location where driving the vehicle in a few circles is not a problem. Please see Section 3 of your owner manual for full details on how to calibrate your compass.
Now, Press the option button again until Personal Program appears in the display. Your vehicle may have personalization capabilities that allow you to program certain features to a preferred setting for up to 2 drivers. Your vehicle may also have customization capabilities that allow you to program certain features to one preferred setting.
Let's first look at the features that can only be programmed to one preferred setting. Once Personal Program appears on the display, press the Set Reset button to begin. The DIC now displays an instruction screen. Press the Option button to display the features that are available to program. Press the Set Reset button to change the setting of each feature.
The first preferred setting feature on the menu is Factory Defaults. This feature allows you to set all of the customization and personalization features back to their factory default setting. The choices here are No and Yes.
All keys will be reset is the next menu item. This screen only displays if Yes is selected on the factory default screen. Press the Set Reset button to scroll through the default setting of Cancel, which means the features will not be set to their factory default settings and the DIC returns to the Personal Program menu. Or you can choose OK, which means the features will be set to their factory default settings. The DIC will exit the Personal Program menu and personal options saved will be displayed.
Exterior Light Delay is next. This feature allows you to set the amount of time you want the exterior perimeter lights to turn on each time the unlock button on the remote transmitter is pressed, or when you remove the key from the ignition. You have the choice of turning this feature on or off. Or you can delay set the amount of time the lamps stay on to be 15, 30, 60, or 90 seconds. Select one of the available choices and press the Option button while it's displayed on the DIC to select it and move on to the next feature.
The next menu item is Interior Lights Keys Removed. This feature enables the interior lamps in your La Crosse to turn on for about 25 seconds after the key is removed from the ignition. Again, this feature can be turned off or on.
Delayed Locking is the next item. This feature delays the locking of your vehicle for 5 seconds after the last door is closed when you press the power lock switch on the driver's door or on your remote transmitter. The key must be out of the ignition for this feature to work. You can turn this feature off or on.
The next menu item is Content Theft. If your vehicle has the Content Theft Deterrent system, once this feature is turned on, the system activates if someone tries to enter the vehicle without using the remote keyless entry transmitter or the correct key. It also activates when an incorrect key is used in the ignition. You can turn this feature off or on.
The next item is Fob Lock Feedback. This feature allows you to select the type of feedback you receive when locking the vehicle with the remote keyless entry transmitter. Keep in mind, though, that you will not receive feedback when locking the vehicle with the remote keyless entry transmitter if the doors are open. Press the Option button until Fob Lock Feedback appears on the DIC display. Then press the Set Reset button to scroll through the 3 setting choices.
Your choices here are Off, meaning there is no feedback when locking your vehicle; Lights, meaning the exterior lamps flash when you press the lock button on the transmitter; or Lights and Horn, which means the lights flash when you press the lock button and the horn sounds if the lock button is pressed again within 5 seconds.
Next up is Remote Start. This is the feature that enables the optional Remote Start keyless entry transmitter function of your La Crosse to work. You can turn this feature on or off.
Your vehicle may also have personalization capabilities that allow you to program certain features to a preferred setting for up to 2 drivers. The first personalized key corresponds to driver 1, and the second personalized key corresponds to driver 2. Let's look at these personalization menu items now.
The first menu item is Personalize Key. This feature allows you to personalize a key to be recognized as either Key 1 or Key 2. A personalized key allows you to program personalization features to a preferred setting to correspond to Key 1 or 2. If you're using a key that has already been personalized, this screen will not display.
Press the Set Reset button to scroll through the choices of No, meaning the key will not be personalized, or Yes, meaning the key will be personalized. Select one of the available choices and press the Option button while it's displayed in the DIC to select it and move on to the next feature.
Next is Replace Key. This screen displays only if Yes was selected for the previous feature. Personalize Key if keys 1 and 2 have already been personalized and if the current key being used is not Key 1 or 2. This feature allows you to program a key to be recognized as Key 1 or 2 in the event that a previously programmed key needs to be replaced.
Here you can choose either the number 1 so that the key is programmed to be recognized as Key 1, or you can choose number 2 so that the key is programmed to be recognized as key 2. You can also choose cancel so that the key is not programmed.
The next menu item is Radio Stations Personalized. This screen displays only if Yes was selected for the Personalized Key feature. This feature allows you to set your radio station presets to be remembered for the key, either 1 or 2, that is being used. Once this message displays, set your radio station presets. If your presets are not set at this time, the presets will not be remembered for key 1 or 2. However, the vehicle radio station presets will be maintained.
Auto door lock is the next menu item. This feature allows automatic door locking to be turned off or on. Press the option button until auto door lock appears in the display, and then press Set Reset to make your choice of off or on. Press the option button again to select your choice and move to the next feature.
The next item, Auto Door Unlock, only displays if on was selected for the previous Auto Door Lock feature. Press the Set Reset button to scroll through the personalization choices. They are Off, where none of the doors unlock when the vehicle is shifted into park; Driver, where only the driver's door unlocks when the vehicle is shifted into park, or the key is taken out of the ignition; and All, where all of the doors unlock when the vehicle is shifted into park, or the key is taken out of the ignition. Select one of the available choices and press the Option button while it's displayed in the DIC to select it and move on to the next feature.
The next item, Auto Unlock On, displays only if Driver or All was selected for the Auto Door Unlock feature. This feature allows the selection of when the vehicle's doors will unlock. Press the Set Reset button to choose between Key Out, where the doors unlock when the key is taken out of the ignition, and Park, where the doors unlock when the vehicle is shifted into park. And again, select one of the available choices and press the Option button while your choice is displayed in the DIC to select it and move on to the next feature.
The next item, Fob Unlock on First Press, allows the selection of which doors unlock on the first press of the Unlock button on the remote keyless entry transmitter. Press the Set Reset button to scroll through the following choices. Driver, where the driver's door unlocks on the first press of the Unlock button on the transmitter. Or All, where all of the doors unlock on the first press of the Unlock button on the transmitter.
Select one of the available choices and press the Option button to select it. The DIC will then display Press Unlock Switch on Key Fob. Press the Unlock button on your remote keyless entry transmitter and your setting is saved.
After programming the last option, the message Personal Options Saved appears on the DIC display for a few seconds. Then the display returns to the Personal Program main screen.
Now, after having explored the menus and submenus of the Option button, which is the 5th DIC control button, let's take a look at the 6th and final button, Traction Control.
The Traction Control feature allows you to turn the system off and then back on again. Traction Control automatically comes on whenever you start your vehicle. We recommend you stay in this mode under most driving conditions to limit wheel spin, especially in slippery road conditions. However, if your vehicle is ever stuck in sand, mud, or snow, and rocking is required, then you should turn the traction control system off. And please, be sure to refer to Section 4 of your owner manual for more important information about traction control.
The DIC also displays a number of warning and helpful operational messages when needed. Some messages are informational in nature, while others are serious and require immediate attention.
So be sure to take any message that appears in the DIC seriously. And remember, while pressing the Set Reset button will clear the message from the DIC, it will not resolve the problem.
As your La Crosse can communicate a great many things, please be sure to consult with Section 3 of your owner manual for an explanation of all possible messages.
As you can see, your driver interface really does offer an incredibly powerful series of features, and it brings personalization to a whole new level. Okay, I've got the radio programmed, my seats adjusted, and I've personalized the DIC. Now, there's just one more thing I could use to make me completely comfortable and ready for the road.
Air conditioning?
Exactly.
There are 2 different climate control systems available on the La Crosse, a manual system and a dual automatic system. Let's quickly look at the manual system first. This system controls the heating, cooling, and ventilation for your La Crosse. Moving from left to right, the 3 knobs are the fan speed control for airflow, the temperature control, and the vent control that directs the heating or air conditioning.
Each control knob is also a push button. Push the fan speed knob to recirculate cabin air through the vehicle. Push the center knob to turn on the air conditioning mode. To remove frost or fog from the rear window, press the rear defog button on the center of the right-hand knob.
To cool the vehicle interior more quickly on hot days, open the windows long enough to let the hot air escape. For maximum cooling, choose the coolest temperature setting, select vent mode, press the recirculate button, and press the air conditioning button with the snowflake on it. Turn the fan knob clockwise to its highest setting.
To defog or defrost, turn the right knob to the defog or defrost mode. Defog is the fourth symbol moving clockwise, and defrost is the fifth symbol. Defog directs half of the air to the windshield, side windows, and half to the floor outlets. Defrost directs most air to the windshield and the side window outlets.
Now let's look at the optional dual automatic climate control system.
Of course, people don't always agree on what's hot and what's cool, so that's why the dual automatic climate control system is such a great feature.
With dual automatic climate control, the driver and the front passenger can each adjust a temperature that's just right for them.
This system lets you control the climate functions manually or by using the automatic feature, and the folks at Buick highly recommend you use the automatic mode for year-round comfort and convenience.
To do so, press the Auto button on the left side of the system and then select your desired temperature using the up-down keys on the far left and far right side of the climate control system. The temperature setting appears in the system's display window.
And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. This smart system will now automatically control the inside temperature, the air delivery mode, the fan speed, air conditioning, and recirculation functions. All you have to do is decide what temperature you want for your area of the cabin. And to turn the passenger side operation on or off, just press the PASS button on the right side of the system.
And here are a few other things to know about the automatic mode. First off, there might be a delay of 2 to 3 minutes before the fan comes on when the automatic operation is used in cold weather. As well, for the automatic system to function, the temperature must be set between 60 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, and when the passenger side system is off, the driver's set temperature is used for the whole vehicle.
When auto is selected, the air conditioning operation and air inlet mode are automatically controlled. The air conditioning compressor runs when the outside temperature is over approximately 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And while the air inlet normally is set to outside air, if it's hot outside, the air inlet automatically switches to recirculate inside air to help quickly cool down your vehicle, even though the light on the recirc button does not illuminate. If the weather is cold and damp, the system may cause the windows to fog in the recirculation mode. If the windows do start to fog, simply select the defog or defrost mode, and your windows will be cleared in no time.
And of course, depending on the outside conditions and the time of year, it may take a few minutes for your desired temperature to be reached. So simply relax and let your automatic system do its job to cool off or warm up your vehicle.
And that's a good point because you can't make the system heat or cool the vehicle any faster if you set the temperature at the hottest or coolest settings first. Or if you raise or lower them right away, because if you just leave the system on auto, it'll get you to your desired temperature settings as fast as it can.
Oh, and another important point here, the system uses a sensor located on the top center of the instrument panel, so be sure it's not covered by anything or the system will not function properly.
Also note that if you override the automatic climate control system by adjusting anything other than the temperature, the auto mode shuts off and the system operates in manual mode. To go back to the auto setting, simply press auto again.
And please make sure to leave on the air conditioning button in auto mode. It's the one with the symbol of a snowflake on it. If the button is off, the system won't be able to cool the interior of your La Crosse. But remember that if the outside temperature drops below a temperature too cool for the air conditioning to be effective, the snowflake symbol will turn off.
For complete information on both the manual and the dual automatic climate control systems, please refer to the Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and Section 3 of your owner manual under Climate Control System. Your Buick La Crosse is so full of amazing convenience and safety features that we wanted to make sure you were aware of as many of them as we could fit onto this CD. So on this track, we're going to take a look at a few more important features, such as your daytime running lights, an automatic headlight system, the available cruise control, available flip and fold console, the 60/40 split rear seats, and more.
Let's take a look at the La Crosse automatic headlamp system and daytime running lights. The exterior lamp control is the switch on the far left side of the instrument panel. This switch has 4 mode positions on it.
The first is Off, Restore, Auto. If you want to turn off the automatic headlamp system, you simply turn the headlamp switch to the off position. Turning the switch to off again will turn the automatic system back on. This is a momentary control that springs back to the auto position when released. The automatic headlamp system is always turned on when you start your engine.
The next position is auto. When the switch is in this mode, it automatically turns on the daytime running lamps during the daytime and the headlamps, parking lamps, tail lamps, and instrument panel lights at night.
There's a sensor located on top and in the middle of the instrument panel that senses light levels and turns on all your exterior lamps as it gets dark. Make sure this sensor is never covered. And be aware that it's normal for the system to activate if you drive through a tunnel, parking garage, or in heavy overcast weather.
Next is the parking lamps position. This turns on the parking lamps along with the tail lamps, license plate lamps, side marker lamps, and instrument panel lights.
And the final position is used to turn on the headlamps along with all of the previously listed lamps and lights.
If you have the optional fog lamps, press the button in the center of the exterior lamp control to turn the lamps on or off. The parking lamps or low-beam headlamps must be on for the fog lamps to work. Oh, and when your high-beam headlamps are on, the fog lamps turn off.
Let's move now to the turn signal multifunction lever on the left side of the steering column.
This lever includes the following controls: turn and lane change signals, headlamp high and low beam changer, flash to pass feature, and your windshield wipers and washer.
To change the headlamps from low beam to high beam, push the lever away from you. When the high beams are on, a light on the instrument panel cluster comes on if the ignition is on.
The flash to pass feature is used to signal a driver in front of you that you're about to pass. Pull the lever toward you until the high beam headlamps come on and then release the lever to turn the high beams off.
On the same control lever, you'll find the switch for the wiper system. It looks like a ring or band on the multifunction lever. There are 5 positions on the band, including mist, off, intermittent, low, and high.
From the off position, move the band down to activate the mist cycle. This gives you 1 wipe of the blades. From the off position, move the band up 1 position to activate the intermittent cycle. In this position, you can choose a delayed wiping cycle. Adjust the band downward in intermittent mode for a longer delay or upward for a shorter delay.
From the off position, move the band up 2 positions to activate the low wiper cycle. Move it up 1 more position to activate the high wiper cycle. These 2 settings provide continuous wipes of the blades.
One feature I particularly enjoy, especially on long highway trips, is cruise control. The control buttons for this feature are found on the steering wheel. The button on the left is the on-off switch.
When you turn the system on, the indicator light on the button comes on. Then, once you've reached your preferred speed, press the bottom portion of the right-hand button. This will set your cruise control system to your desired speed. The cruise control symbol displays in the instrument cluster to show you that the system is engaged. Now you can take your foot off the accelerator pedal.
If you have to apply the brakes while in cruise control mode, this disengages the system. To reset the system to the speed you had set, simply press the reset button, which is the upper half of the right-hand button on the steering wheel.
And here's another convenient feature on your La Crosse. There's an electronic remote trunk release built into your driver's side door lock button. So if you press and hold this button for a couple of seconds, it'll automatically open your trunk.
Now let's look at one of the most unique features of the La Crosse, the optional 6-passenger flip and fold console.
This console is part armrest, part storage compartment, and part front row bench seat, as the center armrest allows you the flexibility to choose between a 3-passenger front row bench seat and a center console.
In the upward position, the armrest acts as a back support for the front row bench seat. But if you don't need the 3rd position in the front, simply flip the seat cushion forward to reveal 2 cup holders and a coin storage compartment. From here, you can flip the center armrest down and it can be used as an armrest for the driver and front passenger. Now lift the armrest lid to access a large storage area. And notice the large storage area underneath the armrest where the seat cushion was.
Now, let's look up to the headliner on the ceiling between the 2 sun visors. There you'll find the controls for your optional sunroof.
To express open an optional sunroof, press and release the back of the control. The sunshade automatically opens with the sunroof. To stop the express open function at any point, press the back of the control again. To close the sunroof, press the front part of the control and hold it until the roof closes. To stop the sunroof from closing, release the control. The sunshade must be closed manually.
If you want to raise the sunroof to the vent position, press the back of the control.
Now let's move into the back seat area for a look at the convenient 60-40 split folding rear seats.
To fold down the rear seat backs, first go into the rear seat and disconnect the rear center lap shoulder belt latch by using a pointed object like the end of your ignition key to press the release button.
Now pull forward on each seat back tab located on the outboard side of the rear seat cushion to fold the seat backs down. Be sure your front seats are forward enough to allow the rear seat backs to lay flat. Now you have direct access to the trunk.
To return the seat backs to the upright position, push up each seat back until you hear it click into place. Then pull on the seat back to make sure it's secure. Now, reconnect the center safety belt latch plate to the buckle. Make sure the safety belt label is pointing to the release button, and that both are facing the front of the vehicle, and make sure the belt is not twisted. Then, push and pull on the latch plate to be sure it's secure.
And here's an optional safety feature I really like, the optional ultrasonic rear parking assist. This system is designed to help you park when you're in reverse and traveling at speeds of less than 3 miles per hour, as it can detect objects 5 feet behind your vehicle and can signal you how close those objects are to your rear bumper.
The ultrasonic rear parking assist display is located inside your vehicle above the rear window. It has 3 color-coded lights that can be seen through the rear view mirror or by turning around. This optional system comes on automatically whenever you shift into reverse.
One final safety feature we'll look at is the La Crosse airbag system. Your vehicle has a frontal airbag for the driver and another for the right front passenger. Your La Crosse may also have a seat-mounted side impact airbag for the driver and the right front passenger.
As well, it may also be equipped with roof-mounted side impact airbags. The roof-mounted side impact airbags protect the driver and the passenger seated directly behind the driver, and they also protect the right front passenger and the passenger seated directly behind the front passenger.
And as safety is always a top priority at Buick, statistics show that children are safer if they're restrained in the rear rather than the front seat. General Motors recommends that children be secured in a rear seat, including an infant riding in a rear-facing infant seat, a child riding in a forward-facing child seat, and an older child riding in a booster seat. Your vehicle has a rear seat that will accommodate these types of child safety seats. In fact, there are 3 top strap anchors that allow for up to 3 child restraint seats in the rear seat of your La Crosse.
Your La Crosse comes with a passenger airbag status indicator. The indicator window is located to the right of the row of DIC control buttons. This indicator is connected to a passenger sensing system that determines if there is someone sitting in the front passenger seat.
If the word "off" is lit on the airbag status indicator, it means that the passenger sensing system has determined there's no passenger in the front passenger seat and has turned off the right front passenger's frontal airbag. If the word "on" is lit on the passenger airbag status indicator, it means that the right front passenger's frontal airbag is enabled, as the system has determined there's a passenger in the seat.
Please refer to your Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and your owner manual for more information on the features we've mentioned, as well as many more convenience and safety features available on your La Crosse.
Your La Crosse may be equipped with an available feature that provides a convenient way to replace up to 3 handheld transmitters used to activate devices such as gate operators, garage door openers, entry door locks, security systems, and home lighting.
Homelink is a combined universal transmitter and receiver, and you'll find the optional Homelink controls located on the driver's sun visor.
Before attempting to program Homelink, be sure to read the instructions in your owner manual completely. Also, because of the steps involved, it may be helpful to have another person available to assist you.
And finally, your La Crosse is equipped with an amazing feature that's revolutionized the way we look at our cars. Of course, I'm talking about the OnStar system.
OnStar is a hands-free communication system that offers a range of safety, security, and convenience services.
Your La Crosse comes with 1 year of the OnStar service called Safe and Sound. Beyond your first year, refer to your OnStar owner guide or visit www.onstar.com. Or if you wish, simply press the OnStar button to speak with an advisor to renew your subscription.
Now that we've come to the end of your Buick La Crosse personalization instructional CD, we hope that we've been able to give you a greater sense of some of the many outstanding features that your La Crosse has to offer.
And for a complete look at all the features and how to use them, be sure to check with your Getting to Know Your La Crosse booklet and your owner manual.
In the meantime, thanks, and we hope you enjoy many years and many miles of safe and happy driving in your new La Crosse.
Until next time, take good care and enjoy the road.